just heard out the finance minister saying that she has held discussions with various industry representatives to understand the impact of coronavirus outbreak in China. But of course, the impact has been felt by all and sundry, especially by those individuals who had travel plans not just in China, but in the Southeast Asian region. And it's particularly important to talk about that because now the death toll in China has reached 1,900, and across the globe we have more than 70,000 individuals that have been infected. It's unfortunately a virus that is easily spread through human contact, and that makes it all the more important to understand what are the implications of the same. India, in fact, has even asked visa holders traveling from China to reapply, so you can understand how big this situation is. The question, of course, is that, if you guys are, of course, having a travel plan, which you may have planned right from maybe 3 to 4 months ago, what should you do now? Sabina Chopra, co-founder and CEO of Corporate Travel and, the head of industry relations with Yatra.com, now joins us on the show. Sabina, hi. This is quite an unusual situation. It's a rare situation, let's put it that way, because yes, we do have epidemics that's proud about, but this is China. This is, some people are touting it as bigger than SARS as well, that broke out roughly about 15 years ago. At this juncture, for individuals, let's start off first. If you're straight away traveling to China, whether it's Shanghai, Beijing, anywhere in China, I'm sure you would say that you need to cancel your travel plan. But regardless of the airline they have taken, what is the possibility of them being able to get a full 100% refund?
All airlines traveling to China are offering full refund right now. So if you have a travel plan to China and not comfortable traveling, all airlines offer a full refund. So it's not chances, they are being offered a full refund if they're traveling to China.
This includes even, any of those taxes, fees, charges, extra baggage charges, or whatever you have opted for. Will it include everything, Sabina?
It will include everything, because if you are not traveling, it includes all the taxes, everything. It's a full refund which is being offered.
Okay, excellent.
So it includes all taxes that may involved, because this is a unique situation. This is a unique situation, not expected. So the airlines have gotten full support of the customer and refunding back. It's a full refund being offered.
So airlines at least are, essentially supporting customers that way in cancelling their prices. What about hotels? Whether it's a 5-star, 3-star, and Airbnb, what is the possibility of, an individual getting a refund on their stays in China?
What we've seen, which the stays that have been booked through us, is a full refund being offered to customers, and I have not heard of any customer being said that you get a partial refund or there's no refund possible. I think even the hotels, even all the other travel partners are offering full support, because as you specifically mentioned, this is a situation which doesn't occur on a day-to-day basis, and all your ground transportation, all your land arrangements, everybody is supporting them. So travelers are getting full support.
Now, I obviously did not ask you this question on whether individuals should continue with their travel plans to China, because I know it's going to be a no-no. But what about Southeast Asia? Thailand is a very popular destination, especially around, this time, around February. In fact, I know people who are getting married, literally, in Phuket, in all of these popular wedding destinations. So let's say if in the next 1 month, people have plans to travel to Bali, maybe for a bachelor trip or a bachelorette trip, to Phuket, to maybe even Cambodia, Vietnam, in the next 1 month. Do you think it's a bit risky to travel? What are your clients doing? Are you suggesting that they cancel their trips?
No, I'm not suggesting that they cancel their trip at all. I've seen people who have booked for this next 1 month, if they're booked, they're traveling, especially the leisure travel. So if there are weddings that have been planned, if there's a bachelorette which has been planned, it's happening. So, and I think the governments, local governments have taken, enough steps for health and safety and precautions for the customer who's traveling. So if you talk about every local government, they've taken full steps to ensure health and safety for the customers who are traveling there. So I don't think that they should cancel the trip, but what I can see as the trend that people who had booked before this outbreak are traveling, but the new ones are not booking right now. So we're not getting fresh bookings to the level that we should have got. Yes, it's if an essential travel, people are booking to these countries. However, if it's not essential travel, we're not seeing many leisure bookings coming to Southeast Asia. So the future bookings seem to be affected, while the current ones who had been booked before this outbreak are carrying as normal. This is for the leisure travel. However, when I see the corporate travel has cancelled their bookings or to these destinations and are restricting their travel. So I wouldn't say that 100% they've cancelled, but they're restricting their travel to these countries in this 1 month, definitely. So leisure remains unaffected for people who had already booked, but corporate which had booked has cancelled to a large extent, and future bookings are still not coming in through for these countries.
Sabina, you'll be surprised.
Which is sad. It's sad because the local governments are.
No, please continue.
So I was saying it's sad because the governments, if I talk about the local governments, have taken enough measures for safety and prevention of breakout of this disease. So I think the confidence level is still to come back. But I suggest that we keep a watch on these bookings. I'm sure that they will rise. But on the other side, because people are not traveling or not booking, fresh bookings are not coming to Southeast Asia, we've seen a lot of bookings coming to Dubai, Doha, Abu Dhabi. So that sector on the other side seems to be taking a big, spike there.
You'll be surprised, Sabina. So many people will already be out on the catch looking to grab the best deals. And I'm assuming that, like you mentioned, flights are either people are either cancelling their flights or they're just simply not making fresh bookings. I'm sure the flight ticket prices have dropped drastically. So to that sector, the Southeast Asian countries, what sort of a drop are you seeing in prices?
It's across different countries, so we've not seen a very large drop towards Thailand, but the specific countries, so anytime you can say between 20% to 30% drop in the fares. Some sectors are even dropping by 15%, as low as 15%, but certain sectors are dropping by 20 to 30%. So it depends sector-wise and airline-wise.
So Sabina, you're clearly saying that if someone has a travel plan to the Southeast Asia in the next 1 month, they should not worry so much, and they could perhaps go ahead with it because the governments as well have taken more than adequate precaution to ensure that, or at least to try and ensure that this virus does not spread. Is that right?
Yes, that's what I stand by.
But you will not...
I think they should carry on with their plans if there are any plans.
You will not hazard a risk and say that, since prices have dropped 20-30%, maybe you can even consider, since everything will be so cheap, maybe you could consider making a fresh travel plan to the Southeast Asia, I'm assuming.
I think health and safety for each customer is something that they are responsible for. Yeah. And those fears in their minds, I think as a travel partner, I can't, say that, okay, you should not be concerned or you should not be bothered about it. I think every individual travel needs to think or his or her safety. But all I can say is that all government's precautions in these Southeast Asian countries have been taken. More than adequate measures are being taken to ensure that the breakout doesn't happen. However, I am not the government and I am a travel person. I would still say that, until unless, there is no risk as such which shouldn't be happening anywhere. These governments have taken more than enough steps. So, but however, I leave the decision to the traveler to make rather than me making the decision on their behalf.
And at the end of the day, it's your responsibility. Your health will be your responsibility. Don't go around looking for an amazing deal at the cost of your health. That goes without saying. because at the end of the day, health is everything. So you cannot just be on the lookout for all the best deals at every point of time. Okay, Sabina, another query that we are often asked is, what if my flight is via China? So maybe you're going to Japan and it's via Beijing, or maybe you're traveling to Philippines, or even for that matter, the west coast of the Americas. You know, it could be Vancouver, San Francisco, Los Angeles, etc.
Yes.
Many a times they go via China. In such a scenario, and you know, would you recommend still that those individuals look for another route to, you know, resume their, to, you know, reach their destination? What would you recommend they do there?
Actually speaking, it goes back to my last point that, you know, you're not comfortable traveling to these destinations. It depends on the person. So we've received cases where people were not comfortable traveling via Hong Kong or via Singapore and wanted to change. And case-to-case basis, we contacted the airlines, and they had a via point in the, you know, on the West Coast. Case-to-case basis, we've reached out to the airlines and taken refunds on behalf of our customers. And the airlines hear it on a case-to-case basis and are giving, you know, supporting the customer there and giving refunds there. So we have seen a trend there where people are not comfortable traveling to these via these destinations, and we have been supporting them in getting refunds from the airlines, but that's case-to-case basis. So it's not something, you know, somebody tells me that I'm going to you know, West Coast. They write a mail to us, we are going to the West Coast via Hong Kong. Can we change our flights? So we do write to the airline on our behalf, and the airline sees it case-to-case basis and have been supporting us in that.